pulled me to himself, wrapped his arms around me, and tried to kiss me. And in that moment, I literally died.
Ain't no money like church money. He was doing all the things to try to get his image straightened up.
This was a shock to many in the religious community. Bishop T.D. Jakes has been a spiritual advisor to presidents and a religious voice to thousands.
It's hard to put in perspective unless he's involving himself what is actually going on at the party.
Head of the Potter's House megachurch, T.D. Jakes, just resigned after being mentioned in a Diddy-related lawsuit. Major celebs who allegedly attended Diddy's FreakOFF parties are frantically preparing for Diddy's trial, which is in just 2 weeks. Videos of T.D. Jakes at Diddy's parties have surfaced, along with reports that Diddy was using him to boost his reputation. T.D. Jakes is being sued by Pastor Youngblood for sexual abuse, and things are only going to get worse from here. T.D. Jakes is aware that his time is
was a shock to many in the religious community. Bishop T.D. Jakes has been a spiritual advisor to presidents and a religious voice to thousands. Now he says it's time to pass the baton to a new generation.
This is a beautiful moment for me.
From the pulpit Sunday, Bishop T.D. Jakes announced that he was stepping down from leadership at the Potter's House, the Dallas megachurch he founded in 1996 and has led ever since.
I cannot afford, especially after November, to risk something happening to me and you be sheep without a shepherd.
This is video from the service Jakes is referencing in November. It wasn't until months after his medical
depths of T.D. Jakes' purported relationship with Diddy are being revealed by fans, and it becomes weirder the more you examine it. T.D. In 2024, former producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones sued Sean Combs, which led to Jakes' initial association with Diddy. Lil Rod claimed in this case that Diddy intended to use his friendship with Jakes to mitigate the harm to his reputation that Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy had caused. T.D. Jakes was willing to utilize his power to assist Diddy in...
And watch as T.D. Jakes and Gino Jennings' response.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. T.D. Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Good, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good because I know the truth.
World-renowned Dallas pastor T.D. Jakes is named in a federal lawsuit against musician Sean Diddy Combs.
It's filed by a producer that worked with Combs. It discusses how the singer planned to leverage his relationship with the bishop to soften the impact on his public image of Cassie Ventura's lawsuit. Ventura is a former girlfriend of Combs who filed her own lawsuit in November alleging abuse, violence, and sex trafficking.
Could this federal investigation have come out of these private lawsuits?
Oh, absolutely. If it involves sex trafficking or drugs or weapons or other illegal behavior.
Lori Levinson is a former federal prosecutor.
They've decided this is worth a lot of resources across the country. So once they've done these searches, they have evidence to follow up on it. And if they've got it...
Bishop T.D. Jakes filed a slander lawsuit against fellow Pastor Dwayne Youngblood on November 25th. According to Pastor Youngblood, T.D. Jakes attempted to sexually assault him when he was only 18 years old. He even allegedly attempted to abuse him during church services. Youngblood supposedly had phone records and witnesses to support his claim.
Is killing it, and they're saying to you, come on in, let's talk. And so I did. I went in. We sat down at a very long dining room table in a room that she had, and for 2 hours, It was unbelievable. Pouring of heart, crying, him talking about my father. We talking about these scenarios, and I inwardly just knew I had finally found someone who could get it. Someone who understood. I'm sitting at this table, and for the first time talking to any man, I got tears coming down my face because somebody gets me. Somebody understood what I was going through. Well, after sitting there and having this long discourse with him, I finally look at my watch and I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to go. I got to get this car back to my mother. She's going to kill me. So I said to Bishop, I got to get up. And I got up from the table. He got up from the table. He walked around toward the way I had to exit quicker than I got over there. And when I started to walk past him, he pulled me to himself, wrapped his arms around me and tried to kiss me. And in that moment, I literally died. I could not, I tell you, to this day, I can't remember how I got out of that.
Several persons close to Diddy have testified to the behavior that Pastor Youngblood is alleging is supported by T.D. Jakes' frequent attendance at Diddy's FreakOFF parties, which is absurd for a pastor to be at. Even worse, there are rumors that some of the members of T.D. Jakes' church from that day are prepared to testify in favor of Pastor Youngblood. They suspected something wasn't right when they noticed T.D. Jake acting strangely that day. Intro, the Potter's House megachurch is worth billions of dollars, and T.D. Jakes is aware that his indictment could have far-reaching consequences. 2024 wasn't his year. First, his ex-in-law was arrested for molesting children, and now T.D. Jake is being sued for sexual assault as well. He has given up control to ensure that his company doesn't
bathtub. And in that thing, he says to me, without any hesitation, there's 3 things I need you to do. The first one is, when I come to Pittsburgh, you're going to be the only person I sleep with. The second one is, you can't sleep with anybody else because I don't want to give my wife anything. And thirdly, I will take care of you the rest of your life. I can't to this day remember how I got off that phone, but I do know I made a decision that I wasn't going to the service that night. And eventually I told my mother, I'm not going to go to the service tonight. She said, no. You know we got a rule in this house. If we go, you go. I never told her what he had done. I went to church, and the most humiliating thing imaginable happened that night at church. Bishop Jakes, getting up to preach, speaks into that microphone. I'm going to ask young minister Youngblood to read for me. And after all of that trauma of the last 24 hours, I had to read before he preached.
He also claims that, Diddy, he was using T.D. Jakes to fix his image. You believe that?
Well, we saw that to be true anyway. That's what he was trying to do all that time. That's why T.D. Jakes was there. To try to fix his image. Ain't no money like church money. He was doing all the things to try to get his image straightened up.
I mean, it makes sense. He also said in his lawsuit that when he was around Diddy, he seen Diddy give out guns, a lot of guns. And he said that the environment around Diddy was violent.
The Potter's House megachurch is a multi-billion-dollar church, and T.D. Jakes knows that the fallout from his indictment could be massive. He has handed over the reins to make sure that his business doesn't suffer. 2024 was not his year. First, his ex-son-in-law got arrested for molesting minors, and now T.D. Jakes is being sued for sexual assault too.
This is Richard Brandon Coleman. He is the ex-husband of T.D. Jakes' oldest daughter, Cora Jakes Coleman. Richard has been arrested on May 4th, 2022 for the continuous molestation and sexual abuse of a child or children. It is being reported by family members that the child that he was abusing is their now 13-year-old adopted daughter, Amari.
So I want to get right into it, man. How you feel about these rumors surrounding, Diddy and T.D. Jakes?
Man, what I think about it is this, when I grew up in the church, the sinners was not supposed to have the same atmosphere with the saints. You had to be able to separate the two. So I'm looking at him as a saint going to a party that ain't nothing but sin. Drinking, maybe fornication, man on man, woman on woman, he on she. But maybe he'd have to lay some hands on somebody. Maybe he'd have to save some souls. I know he got a contract with Revolt, so I'm just like, it's just real strange that he would be found at any kind of Diddy party or any kind of place with Diddy unless it's in a business atmosphere. So now what he's doing is he's making the Christians look real bad right now.
It's difficult to understand why someone like TD Jakes would attend a Diddy party, according to Gene Deal. Even during Gene's time with Diddy, everyone was aware of what was happening at these gatherings. It simply doesn't make sense for someone like TD Jake to regularly attend these parties.
Going to the Diddy parties, bruh. If he's going, well, we know he's going to the Diddy parties, and I know that it's, I know what usually happens at the Diddy party, or what we told us happened at the Diddy party. Maybe he needs to see it for himself, man. Maybe he needs to go there and really be involved in some things that could help save some individuals while they going to those parties. Or maybe he just going to, man, it's hard to even talk about. Why would you find a religious man, when you know that the saints supposed to separate themselves from the sinners? And why would a religious man like himself be at a party which ain't nothing but sin that's going on, bro? Whether it's drinking, maybe fornicating, maybe, like I said, men on men, women on women. It's hard to put in perspective unless he's involving himself what is actually going on.
TD Jake isn't the only one moving away from Diddy. Smith, Will Diddy's solicitors, as well as Ellen DeGeneres, have distanced themselves from Diddy. Diddy has been a client of Grubman, Shire, and Sachs for more than 20 years, but the law firm has also dismissed him. Everyone is trying to protect themselves, and nobody wants to go down with Diddy.
The legal team is getting a little smaller. As the rap mogul's defense team prepares for his May trial on sex trafficking charges, his attorney Anthony Rico respectfully but regrettably requested to be dismissed from his role, according to documents obtained by NBC News. Rico, who is one of 6 attorneys on the case, requested in the February 21st filing to withdraw as representation because, quote, "Under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Combs, consistent with the ABA standards for criminal justice." The motion continues, quote, "While I'm aware that the local rule requires that an application for withdrawal of counsel is supported and granted only upon a showing by affidavit or otherwise of satisfactory reasons for withdrawal, there are sufficient reasons related to the protections afforded by the attorney-client privilege for brevity in my application for withdrawal as counsel in this case."
So the high-powered law firm of Grubman, Shire, Salas, and Sachs has dropped Combs as a client. Now, this is the firm of Alan Grubman, who is a very prominent entertainment lawyer that represents some very big names. Weeknd, Madonna, Chris Brown, Paul Simon, Usher, Bruce Springsteen. In fact, by the way, Alan Grubman was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He actually helped found that back in the 1980s. So, gives you an idea about how big of a powerhouse this firm is. Now let's go back to Sean Combs. So the rumor circulating is that this firm did this because singer and actress Lady Gaga had threatened to leave the firm unless they parted ways with Combs. This is according to reporting by News Nation. And it's a big deal because the rapper and producer had apparently been with Grubman's firm for over 20 years. He was friends with Alan